Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in today's AFK journey video, we're going to talk about my own best bossing teams for the Grim Executioner boss right here. So we're going to run through a few mechanics for the boss and then talk about the best teams as well as the different synergies between the units. So first of all, after running through quite a few battles against the boss right here, I realized that physical team sucks in terms of the damage output. So I think for this boss fight, physical team is not going to be as good. So if you have your magical centric units, use them for this boss specifically, because as you guys can see right here, running a full team of physical units, my support actually did the most damage. So probably not the best team out there. So physical team not recommended. You want to use magical teams or magical damage centric units. So for this boss over here, we'll showcase a few different teams and then talk about the damage distributions between some of the more common magical attackers that you probably will use for this boss fight. So number one, my best team over here is a light bearer one. So later on I'll showcase the formation and talk about the positioning and stuff, but this is the damage numbers for you to refer to. So Cassidy right here does quite a bit of damage, and this is a EX10 Cassidy with the charm ability at the epic tier over here. And then we have Morale with the recent buff itself also does pretty well, and this is a Morale without the charm ability. So I think she could definitely do more if we do get this charm upgraded. And then we have the twins to support for the team, and since we're using the light bearer side, it's quite easy to link two units with the twins. So I haven't tried like just buffing up Morale or just buffing up Cassidy, but I do think that we can actually reposition the twins such that we are able to benefit as many units as possible to maximize the damage. But so far this is the light bearer team. These are the different magical damage dealers for the light bearer side for the battle drill boss fight over here. So this one, later on we'll run through the formations. And then for the Wilder side, right? So Wilder side, Lily May still does quite a bit. Brian does okay damage. Bonnie is okay as well. And then Taylin, I think for Taylin's case, if Taylin is able to channel her ultimate, she does quite a fair bit as well. So these are the few good units in terms of the damage side. I also tried out Parisa right here. So OD definitely delivers in terms of the magical centric side. I haven't actually had the chance to try out Satrana yet, but I don't think Satrana is going to be synergistic with this comp, although I could be wrong, because Satrana does decent amount of magical damage. So other than that, I think Elsa could be another sort of units to sort of test out the damage. So these are the few units which I want to try, but I haven't had the opportunity to do so yet. So that's for the damage showcase. So we also have Parisa right here. So this is Wilders, but with Parisa instead of using the Bonnie over here. So I think Bonnie probably a little bit better. Parisa does buff up like the attack speed of Lily May, but then like she doesn't do as much as Bonnie, and I think the buff on Lily May is not that significant. So you can see a drop in damage in terms of my numbers over here. Then we also have this one with Lenya. So you can see that the physical damage dealers, they just don't hit as hard. So I tried quite a few combis, and these are my damage numbers. So I'll be breaking down the three teams and then running through the replays of the battles for the different teams for you guys to see. Okay, so let's go into my formation page. Okay, so with regards to the best teams itself, I did some optimization because there is this additional damage from the prime carrier on the boss itself. So I just shifted some of the positions of the units, which could be different from the replays later, because earlier I was just testing out the units to see which units are better, and then this is the more optimized team formulation for the boss fights itself. So first one, we have the Mauler one. So for the Mauler one, previously I was using Smokey on the Taos itself. I realized that OD does quite a bit of damage. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna buff up Sonya. We're gonna buff up OD as well as Mikola with Sonya, and then we're gonna send in Smokey with Reina. So we will get the debuff on the boss from Reina while getting the maximum damage output from OD right here with the full coverage of buffs from Mikola as well as our Spooky. So this is the formation. So for this one, because OD is on the Mauler factional talent, he will be teleported in front as well, so he will be able to benefit from Smokey's buff, which is sent in front by Reina, as well as Mikola's buff as well. So this is for the Mauler team. So this is the BD boss Mauler over here, and then this one is the Wilders team. Okay, so Wilders team is a little bit wonky, so let's go into the edit over here. So Wilders one right here on this spot, the Lily May will be the prime carrier. So one thing I haven't tested is whether or not Taylin being the prime carrier is better. So you might want to actually test out the different carries in the prime carrier slot, but it's between Lily May as well as Taylin in terms of being the highest damage dealer to get the most damage off the prime carrier buff itself. So that's for this Wilder side. So we're using Bonnie together with Bryon and Hewin. So Hewin, Bryon and Lily May will give you that Wilder's factional talent, and then over here we will be able to get the heal from Hewin to keep Taylin's ultimate going. So that's for this team, Wilder's one. And then for the third team, we have the Light Barrel one, which is my highest damage team, but the record that I had was not optimized. So this one is the more optimized version, where we actually have Cassidy on the prime carrier tile right here. So Cassidy will be able to, let's run through this team in the formation side. So Cassidy will be able to give the tidal strength to Corrin. So Corrin does have some ways to increase his own attack speed through the EX weapon skill over here. You can also try to buff Morale over here because she did get a buff on the S+ skill, which gives her the increase in attack speed as well. So I think Morale probably a little bit better, right? So in this case, for this Light Barrel, I think this will probably be more optimized. So I think it's a trial and error between these two. I haven't had the opportunity to test it out yet, but I'll probably test it tomorrow once the energy on my unit is resetted. And then we have Hugin over here for the attack buff. Not sure whether or not Hugin is the best, but in terms of the best damage dealers for the Light Barrel side, these three, they are the best right now. So probably want to try Vala in this slot tomorrow, so we shall see. But this is my magical Light Barrel team with the Harmonic Spell. So Harmonic Spell is the artifact of choice, and then a damage dealer will be Cassidy, Morale together with Corrin, with the supports from the twins as well as Hugin right here. Okay, so back to the replays. So like I mentioned earlier, against the boss, there's this additional damage on the prime carrier side, which I kind of forgot for the Molar as well as the Light Barrel testing itself. So I'll try to do those tomorrow because I was more focused on the mechanics of the boss. I was more focused on finding out who are the better damage dealers. So for this one, the Light Barrel one, let's run through the replay. So for this one, I actually put our Cassidy in front. So this position actually gave us a pretty optimal, I'll say like wave positioning for Cassidy's ultimate to run through all the allies for her to max out her damage from her tidal strength itself. So this could be a better positioning for Cassidy, and if that's the case, then you might actually want to put Morale on the prime carrier slot instead, so that Morale as a pretty good carry also does 40% more damage based on the factional talent buff right here. So that will be an optimization that I'll try in the next few days, but this is the team over here. So we have obviously the twins buff, we also have Hugin's buff over here for the whole team, and also hopefully, okay, the twins actually got squeezed out of Hugin's buff, so that's why I actually shift the position of Hugin to the right hand side, because I realized that our Hogan actually spawns on the prime carrier spot. So it actually squeezes out that unit on the prime carrier, which sort of loses quite a bit of buff from our Hugin right here, as you guys can see. So that's why I repositioned the twins to be in like the other direction and then put Cassidy as the prime carrier. So that was the optimized positioning, which I'll try tomorrow. So that's that. We're going to run through the whole battle. So for this fight, we are able to survive the full duration and then jam in maximum damage. Okay, so this is team number one. Then for the Mauler team, pretty much the same unit, it's just the positioning changes, which I already explained, so I'll showcase that later as well. So that's for this one. The damage will just run through, and then we get that 8 build damage on top. So that's for the Light Barrel side. Now next one, we have the Wilders one. So this one is the Wilders one. So far, one of the better teams. So I think if Taylин's on the prime carrier, I think Taylin might actually hit harder, because Taylin is able to channel her skill right here. So I have a feeling that if I do put my Taylin as a prime carrier, I might be able to do more damage. Yeah. So she does get like interrupted a little bit. So let's say if she's on the prime carrier slot, she'll be invincible, and then she might not get interrupted as much, right? And then if she's able to channel her ultimate, she has the heal from Hewin to heal the HP, so she might actually hit harder than Lily May. So I'll try that tomorrow. So that's for the Wilder side. Okay, so this one is about 6 build plus. And then for the Mauler side, so all 3 teams can survive the full duration. And then for the Mauler side, we have this team over here. So this one was me putting Smokey on the prime carrier slot. So I lost that 40% damage boost on OD, which I think could be massive because all this damage is actually quite big, right? So that is the bowler team I want to try tomorrow with regards to the OD positioning changes. So earlier they are the edited formation. This is the showcase of the different teams against the boss right here. So these are my 3 best bossing teams for this battle drill run itself. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let me know in the comment section if you have a better team build or if you have other synergies you want me to test out. And I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!